ಹಲೋ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಗುರುದೇವ್ PU ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಧಾರವಾಡ. ಈ ಹಿಂದಿನ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಎ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸಿನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೆರಿವೇಷನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಡೆರಿವೇಷನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಾನಂತೂ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಡೆರಿವೇಷನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಈಗ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಯಾವುವು, ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕೆಲವು ಡೆರಿವೇಷನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನಿಲ್ಲೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್. ಸಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಫಸ್ಟು ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್. ಇದು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸಿಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬರುವಂಥ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಯಾವ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಔಟ್ಲೈನ್ ದ ಐನ್ಸ್ಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್. Whatever Einstein have given the explanation about photoelectric effect, that explanations you have to write. That is for 5 marks. Next, explain briefly experiment to study photoelectric effect. You have to draw that evacuation chamber, anode cathode. You have to draw one window. You have to incident UV rays, and that experiment you have to explain how when it will conduct. When the photoelectric current will conduct, so all that you have to explain. That may ask for 5 marks. And next, another question is, write experimental observations of photoelectric effect or laws of photoelectric effect. This question most of the time they ask for 3 marks, and this time they may ask for 5 marks or 3 marks, anyone. Okay, so only these 3 questions are very important. There are many other questions also are there, but these are 3 very important questions for 5 mark questions. Okay, now out of these 3, one question I'll try to explain. Let us see that which question. So the question is, write the experimental observation of photoelectric effect or laws of photoelectric effect. This is very very important, guys. See here what happens when photoelectric emission takes place. They have listed some of the observations. Those observations are here. The first observation is that the photoelectric effect is instantaneous. Only this much is enough. First point. What is that? Photoelectric effect is instantaneous. What is the meaning of this instantaneous? As soon as ultraviolet rays incident on the photoelectric plate or the cathode, which is the emitter also called, if the incident radiation is more than the critical frequency or one particular frequency, threshold frequency, if the incident frequency is greater than threshold frequency, then as soon as it incident on the cathode plate, the electrons start emission. That's why it is called instantaneous. It will not take much time. As soon as it incident on the plate, the electron begins to emit. When the incident ultraviolet rays frequency is greater than threshold frequency, right? So that's why it is called instantaneous. As soon as possible, right? That's called instantaneous. Second point. The strength of the photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of incident radiation, right? So I'll draw that diagram also. It will be helpful for you. This is evacuated glass chamber. Here there is a one window, and for this evacuated chamber there is a cathode and there is a anode, right? One is cathode here, C, and anode is here. So cathode is purposefully connected to negative terminal and anode is purposefully connected to positive terminal, right? When UV rays, ultraviolet rays incident on this cathode plate, right? And we'll assume that this ultraviolet rays frequency is, whatever the incident frequency is there, that frequency is greater than threshold frequency. Only if this condition satisfies, the electron emission takes place. And due to this electron emission, these electrons are moving towards anode. During that time it produces the current. That current is called photocurrent. The strength of that photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of light. Only if this incident light has a frequency greater than threshold frequency. First condition is that threshold frequency should be greater than, applied frequency should be greater than threshold frequency, and then intensity. Later it depends upon intensity, right? So that's why they are telling that the strength of the photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of incident radiation if the applied frequency is greater than threshold frequency. This is second observation. Third observation, for a given material, there is a minimum frequency for incident radiation. There is a minimum frequency for incident radiation below which there is no photoelectric emission takes place. That frequency is called threshold frequency. ನಾವು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆಯಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಫೋಟೋಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಫೋಟೋಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ನಾವು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೇನೋ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಫಾರ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಬಿಲೋ ವಿಚ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ಅಂತಹ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್. ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಏನು ನೋಡಿ, ಅಬೌವ್ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಇಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಟು ದ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್. ನೋಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ನಾನು ಏನಂತ, ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್, ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗಳ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಎದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಯಾವಾಗ? ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ, ನೀವು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಝೀರೋ ಆಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್. ಈಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಗಳು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಅಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದನ್ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಇಡಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇವುಗಳ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇವು ಫಾಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಇವನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಟು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ದೀಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಶುಡ್ ಡೂ? ಐ ಶುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಟಿಗೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಆ್ಯನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನೇನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು? ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರುವಾಗ್ತದೆ? ದ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್, ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನೇನಾದರೂ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಐ ಶುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ದ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್. ಯಾಕೆ ನಾನು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಝೀರೋ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಝೀರೋ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ? ಯು ವಿ ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಸಮ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸಚ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ದ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ, ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಸಮ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್. ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ 5 ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್. ಈ 5 ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್, ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಸೊ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್? ಅಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದು ಫಾಲೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್. ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಟು ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ. ಸೊ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಎದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದರೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆದರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆದರೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಈ 5 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನೀವು ನೆನಪಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಎಸ್, ವಿಲ್ ಮೂವ್ ಟು ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್, ರೇ ಆಪ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ಇದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಯಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ 100% ಒಂದು ಡೆರಿವೇಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಡೆರಿವೇಷನು ಈ 4 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗಳನ್ನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ನೋಡಿ, ಡಿರೈವ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್ ಆರ್ ಎ ಡಿರೈವ್ n is equal to sin of a plus d upon 2 sin of a by 2. ಇದನ್ನು ಡೆರಿವೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವು, ರೈಟ್? ಇದು 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸಿಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಆಂಗಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್, ಇದು ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು, ಡಿರೈವ್ ದ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ n, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ u, ಇಮೇಜ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ v and radius of curvature of refraction at a spherical surface r. ಇವುಗಳ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಅದಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಡಿರೈವ್ ದ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಕರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಕರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಟರಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮಿಡ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇದೆ, ಯಾವುದು ಅದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಕ್ವಿವೆಲೆಂಟ್ ಫೋಕಲ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ 2 thin convex lenses which are in contact. ಇದನ್ನು ಎರಡು ಥಿನ್ ಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ಸು ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅದರ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೋಕಲ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇದನ್ನು 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ 1/f1 ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1/f2 ರೈಟ್, ಸಾರಿ 1/f ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1/f ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1/f1 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 1/f2. ಈ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಡೆರಿವೇಶನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇದನ್ನು 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ಇವು ಏನು 3 ಡೆರಿವೇಶನ್ ಇದಾವೆ, ದೀಸ್ 3 ಡೆರಿವೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಡಿರೈವ್ 2 ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. ಒಂದೇದು, ಡಿರೈವ್ ದ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್, object distance, image distance and radius of curvature of the lens. Okay, now let us consider one surface here, curved surface xy. xy is a curved surface and this is a principal axis. This is a principal axis. This is a point on the surface which is called pole P anta kariyona. Now this is a object O is a point size object. Which kind of object? Point size object. Okay, now O incident at point n, this is ON is a incident ray athwa ON, it incident at point, this point here I will call it as n, right? Next what I will say, so consider a spherical surface xy, let O be the luminous point object, ON is the luminous point object at a distance of V, actually distance of U agbekadu U, and this is also U, object distance U, image distance V, radius of curvature R, right? ಈ ಥರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Now I be the real image. At this point I, real image will be formed of this object. Okay? At a distance V from P. These are the some points you should write. ಇದನ್ನು ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಈ ಡೈಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ. ಈ ಡೈಗ್ರಾಮಿಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇವಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು? 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಏನೇನು ಬರಿಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ? ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ xy, let O be the luminous point object at a distance of U from point P and I be the real image of object O at a distance of V from point P. ಬಹಳ ತುಂಬ ಸರಳವಾಗಿದೆ. 2 ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, here some triangles formed. Which are those triangles? See here. If you drop, see this is ON incident ray and draw a normal at the point of incident, that normal 100% passing through the center of curvature. Now here this normal and incident ray makes certain angle is called angle of incidence. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Angle of incidence ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, right? Now this is incident ray and this is refracted ray. This is refracted ray and this is a line which is drawn at the point where it intersect and this is passing through the center of curvature. Now here some triangles will form, that is NM, draw perpendicular to OP or axial line or principal axis you can say. Now here some triangle will form. Which are those triangles you see here? Triangle NOM. Where is the triangle NOM? NOM. This NOM triangle will form an angle here. Here this is a forming of angle which is called alpha. Idu ನಾವು alpha anta kariyana. Similarly, one more triangle will form here, NIM. NIM. This is one triangle here. So this triangle will form an angle here, that is beta. This is here, beta angle will form. Beta angle will form, right? Next, one more triangle is there, that is NCM. Triangle NC. Where is NCM? NCM. Here also it makes certain angle which is called gamma. Then now these are the 3 triangles are here. One is NOM which is called alpha, NIM beta and NCM gamma. Now in triangle NOC, where is the NOC? NOC. In this triangle, in triangle NOC, in this triangle, which are the angles will come there? NOC. This is I, this is alpha and this is gamma. So from this one, sum of 2 interior angles, sorry, alpha barutte, here alpha will come, alpha gamma I, right? Sum of 2 interior angles is equal to exterior angle. Based on this one we can write I is equal to alpha plus gamma. I is equals to, angle of incidence is equals to alpha plus gamma. We can write, yes, they have written here, I is equal to alpha plus gamma. This is equation number 1. Similarly, in triangle NIC, where is NIC? NIC, in this triangle, like this. In this triangle, here the exterior angle will be this one, which is called gamma. Here interior angle R, angle of refraction, and here it will be beta. From this one, exterior angle is what? Gamma, and sum of two interior angles are what? R plus beta. R plus beta. Yes or no? Nodrile. Idu interior angle. Idu interior angle. Idu exterior angle. The sum of two interior angles is equal to exterior angle. Adane bartidare. Gamma is equal to R plus beta. But here I want R, not I. Right? So that's why na ಏನು ತಗೋಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ, R is equal to gamma minus beta ತಗೊಂಡೆ. This is expression number 2. Now from Snell's law, we have a formula for Snell's law. N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R. Now we have here I and R. Substitute here. Before that, for a small angles, whatever these angles are forming, they all are considered to be a paraxial rays. What are paraxial rays? These are the rays which make small angles. The rays which make small angle, they are called paraxial rays. Here, this incident ray, a refracted ray, this whatever rays are there, they are forming a paraxial rays, which makes a small angles. For a small angle, sin theta equal to theta. You remember this one? For small angles, sin theta is approximately equal to theta. You can see here sin 30 1 by 2 like that, right? Sin again 15 decreases, sin 10 decreases, sin 5 decreases. So as the theta decreases, sin will also decreases. For small angle is equal to theta. That's why for small angle sin theta is approximately theta, or tan theta is also equal to theta. That's why here instead of sin I we can write I, R sin R instead of sin R we can write R. Therefore N1I, in place of sin I have written N1I, in place of sin R I have written R. Therefore N1I is equal to N2R. Correct? Now this is equation number 3. Substitute equation number 1 and 2 in a 3, because we are having I here, I is there, R here, R is there. You can substitute. By substituting that, N1 alpha plus gamma is equal to N2 gamma minus beta it becomes. Now for small aperture, P is very close to M, right? For small aperture, these two are very close to each other. That's why we can say that tan alpha, from that triangle we are taking tan alpha. From which angle? From the small angle tan alpha. Tan alpha where it comes? Opposite upon adjacent. Opposite upon adjacent is what here? NM upon OP. Sorry, NP, right? NM or NP, both are same. NP upon OP is tan alpha. For small angles, tan alpha is also alpha. Therefore, alpha become what now? NP upon OP. Similarly, for this triangle, which triangle? NPI. If you take NPI, which makes an angle beta, then tan beta is what here? Tan beta is equal to NP upon IP. NP is opposite upon adjacent. Adjacent is what? PI or IP. For small angles, again tan beta is what? Tan beta is equal to beta. Then beta is equal to NP upon IP it becomes. Again similarly one more triangle is there. That is what? NP upon PC. So what is tan? Opposite upon adjacent. Again NP upon PC. So here NP upon PC. For small angle tan gamma is equal to gamma. Then gamma is equal to NP upon IP. Correct? So from all these things we got alpha, beta, gamma. So substitute in this equation now. So these equations whatever are there, substitute alpha, beta, gamma values in equation number 4. So what equation number 4 becomes now? So N1 as it is, N1 hage ittideve namu. Remaining what is alpha? Alpha means NP by OP plus ide gamma is what? NP by PC, right? Is equal to N2 hage ittideve. Next remaining ಯಾವುದು? gamma ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? NP by PC. Next minus ಇದೆ, minus ಬರ್ದಿರ. Next beta ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? NP by IP. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? NP ಕಾಮನ್ ಇದೆ, ಹೊರಗೆ ತೆಗೀರಿ. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎನ್ ಪಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಇದೆ, ಹೊರಗೆ ತೆಗಿರಿ. N1 ಒಳಗೆ ತೊಗೊಂಬರ್ರಿ. ಸೊ N1 ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್, NP ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ನಾವು. ಸೊ NP ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್. Remaining what? N1 by OP plus N1 by PC is equal to N2 by PC minus N2 by IP. Now using Cartesian sign conventions. What are Cartesian sign conventions? Whatever we measure, we have to measure from pole towards left side, they are considered to be a negative, towards right side from the pole they are considered to be a positive. Like that we have some Cartesian rules. Based on that, OP is what now here? Object distance from the pole towards left side, whatever you measure it should be in a minus, therefore object distance is minus. Similarly PC, what is PC here? PC, center of curvature, which is inside from the pole towards right side, it is considered to be a positive. And IP is also from the pole towards right side, whatever you measure from the pole towards right side is a positive, therefore IP is equal to V, because V is here image distance, right? So now you substitute all of them because we want OP, PC and IP, only these three, right? So N1 by, in place of OP minus U plus N1 by PC R, which is equal to N2 by R minus N2 by V. Now rearranging them, N2 by V, this minus, whatever minus N2 by V is that, bring here, and here already N1 minus N1 by U is there, minus N1 by U, which is equal to N2 by R is already here, N1 by R, bring that side, it becomes minus N1 by R. Now rearranging them, N2 by V minus N1 by U is equal to N2 minus N1 by R. So this is the relation between refractive index, object distance, image distance and refractive index. This is a simple manner, right? And which are essential things I said already here. How it came I said explained. So you practice these things. It is a very very important for 5 marks. Understood? So this is the formula for that. Okay, now next derivation, one more derivation is here, we can go for that. Obtain an expression for refractive index of the material of the prism in terms of angle of prism and angle of minimum deviation. Whatever first derivation was there, that is sine of A plus D upon 2 divided by sine of A by 2, this derivation you have to derive, right? Now to derive that, let us consider a prism, right? A prism is this one. This is the principal axis of the prism, that is ABC. This is a principal section of the prism, ABC, and this one is called angle of prism. Here it is called A, which is also called as angle of prism. Angle of prism anta karitare. Then, so here in the figure, ABC is the principal section of the prism. I1 and I2 are I1 and R2 be the angle of incidence at the surface AB. So at this surface AB, ಈ AB surface ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ರೇ, ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ at point Q, right? Q ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Where it incident we have to draw a normal, that is normal, and this incident ray makes an angle with respect to normal, that is called angle of incidence. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರೀಬಹುದು? Angle of ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಅಂತ ಕರೀಬೋದು. ನಾನು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಆಂಗಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆನ್ಸ್. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ R1 ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ದಿಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ವಿತ್ ರಿಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ R1. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ R1 ಆಸ್ ಅ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ರೇ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್. ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ರೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? QR is a incident ray inside the prism. At this point it is traveling from denser to rarer medium. At that time it will bend away from the normal, therefore it will bend away from the normal. That angle of refraction is called as emergent ray. This is called as what? Emergent ray at point R. Now how much deviated this? Actually if this prism is not there, this line incident ray could have been gone like this, but due to this prism it has been bent in this manner. So how much deviation happened? That total deviation is called as what? Angle of prism, or total deviation, in terms of total deviation, that we need to derive here. Okay, okay, see this quadrilateral will be here. R1 and I2 be the angle of refractions at the surface AB and AC. Now from triangle QNR, where is QNR? What is triangle QNR? Where is that QNR? QNR. This triangle is here. I'll draw the format of that. So here this is N, this is Q, and this is R. So here this is the angle of R1, here angle of R2, and this is N. Right? Now R1 plus R2 plus triangle QNR is equal to how much? 180 degree. How you can say that? This total interior angle, right? So this R1 plus R2 plus total QNR is equal to how much? 180 degree. Yes or no? Total sum of the interior angles of a triangle 180 degree. So for that reason R1 plus R2 plus angle of QNR is equal to how much? 180 degree. Now from quadrilateral, there is a quadrilateral called AQNR. This quadrilateral, in this quadrilateral, angle of prism, that is here angle of prism A plus triangle QNR, this QNR, right? If you add them, it is also become 180 degree, because in quadrilateral opposite angles, sum of the opposite angles is equal to 180 degree. Based on that, so what is it becomes? A plus triangle QNR is equal to 180 degree. These two are very important. Now from quadrilateral AQNR over, comparing these two equation, RHS. You just watch here, RHS both are same. If the RHS are same, LHS can be equated. If you equate LHS, what it becomes? In this one, what happens here? I'll see here. R1 plus R2 plus triangle QNR is equals to, here it is A plus QNR, triangle QNR. So here triangle QNR will get cancelled. Remaining what? R1 plus R2 is equal to A. R1 plus R2 is equal to A. So that only they have written here. What they have written here? R1 plus R2 is equal to A only they have written here. That is equation number 3. Now we have to find out what is I1. That is I1 is equal to, see what is the angle here. I'll draw this diagram here again. Okay. So this is deviation, angle of deviation. This is angle of R1. This is total of I1. So this I1 is equal to R1 plus D. Correct or no? This total, what is alternate angle, right? So sum of these two angle is equal to this one. That's why they have written that I1 is equal to R1 plus D1. See here, this total angle is equal to R1 plus D1. This is I1. That's why they have taken I1 is equal to R1 plus D1. Then from this one, what is D1? We can calculate D1 is equal to I1 minus R1. Similarly, I2 is what here? I2. So here this diagram will be, I'll draw here. So this is I2, and here this is deviation, and this is angle of refraction 2. Then R2 plus D2 is equal to how much? I2. From that equation they can write I2 is equal to R2 plus D2. From this one we can calculate D2 is equal to I2 minus R2. Now the total deviation is equal to how much? The total deviation is here. So this triangle you take this triangle DQR. In this triangle, sum of these two interior angles is equal to exterior angle. Therefore they can write D1 plus D2 is equal to capital D. They can write. That's why they have written here capital D is equal to D1 plus D2. Where is that? Here D1 and D2 is equal to exterior sum of these two interior angles. This is exterior angle. Now capital D is equal to, what is D1? D1 from here we have here formula. That is D1 is equal to I1 minus R1 plus what is D2? D2 here, I2 minus R2. Now D is equal to, bring all I1, I2 say one side. That's why I plus I1 plus I2 they have taken outside, minus common R1 plus R2 they have taken outside. Now I1 plus I2 minus, because R1 plus R2 is what already we got here. From that one we can substitute here, R1 plus R2 is equal to A. Now your equation is what now? D is equals to I1 plus I2 minus A. Now we have to tell them angle of incidence equal to angle of emergence at minimum deviation. That's why, so we can write here what? At minimum deviation, angle of incidence equal to angle of emergence is equal to same. That's why they have taken I1 equal to I2 equal to I. See, here you may get confusion. ಯಾಕೆ I1 equal to I2 ತಗೊಂಡ್ರಪ್ಪ? I1 equal to I2 ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಏನು? at minimum deviation angle of incident equal to angle of emergence. ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ I1 equal to I2 ಆಯಿತು. I1 equal to I2 ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಕಾಮನ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ತಗೊಂಡೆ I ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅದೇ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ at minimum deviation angle of refraction also same. ಅವಾಗ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ 3 ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ನೌ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ 3, ಈ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? a equal to r plus r instead of r1 plus r2 both are same, right? That's why a equal to r plus r, then it becomes a equal to 2r or r equal to a by 2. Why? Because I want r here, right? Next equation 4 becomes what now? dm is equal to I plus I minus a. Now dm is equal to 2i minus a. From this one equation I what? A plus d, because this minus a will come here, a plus dm upon 2. You got here I also, you got r, you got I. Substitute in the equation. What is that? Snell's law. Snell's law is what? n21 or refractive index of the second medium with respect to first medium, that is sin I by sin r. Then I is what here? I is a plus dm upon 2. Substitute here. R is what? A by 2. Substitute here. You got the equation. Simple. I r beku, I beku. We want r and I. Substitute here. You got the answer, right? So how you got that r and I? In this manner you got that one. Finally you have to draw this diagram. At certain angle it has a minimum deviation. At certain angle, but for every prism it has some angle of deviation. Minimum angle of deviation. You have a practical on this one also, right? So ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತದೆ, ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ರೇ ಆಪ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೇವ್ ಆಪ್ಟಿಕ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಈ 3 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಗಳು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ 3 ಡೆರಿವೇಷನ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು ಯಾವುದಂದರೆ ಗಿವ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಅರೈವ್ ದ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್. ಇದು ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಆರ್ ದೇ ಮೇ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಯು ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. Next, obtain the expression for interference fringe width of Young's double slit experiment. This is very important question. ಇದರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಡೆರಿವೇಷನ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ದ ಫ್ರಾನ್-ಆಫ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸ್ಲಿಟ್. ಇದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಕೊಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇವು ಎರಡಂತೂ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿರಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್, ಇದರೊಳಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು 5 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ತೆಗೆದಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನೀವು ಅದು ಯಾವುದಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಹಿಯರ್ obtain the expression for energy of an electron in the hydrogen atom in terms of radius using Rutherford atomic model. Rutherford atomic model ತಗೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಏನು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಆ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. obtain the expression for radius of the nth Bohr orbit of the hydrogen atom using Bohr's postulate. ಇದು Rutherford postulate ತಗೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇದು Bohr's postulate ತಗೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. next obtain an expression for the energy of nth Bohr orbit of the hydrogen atom assuming the expression for radius. this is for energy. ಅದೇನು ನಾವು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು -13.6 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಡೆರಿವೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ n ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು n0 e raised to minus lambda t or show that radioactivity decay law is exponential. It's a very very important for 5 marks or 3 marks. Anything they may ask you 5 marks or 3 marks. Okay, very important derivation in atoms or nucleus. These questions they may ask for 3 marks also. That's why these are 3 marks important also. And definitely one problem will come from nucleus. Definitely one problem will come from nucleus. And last question, define half life of a radioactive element and obtain the expression for half life. This is also important for 5 mark question in nucleus. Okay, yes guys. Next, semiconductor. It is the easiest. Here there is no derivations, but important thing is what? Final. Here you are going to get a 10 marks in this chapter. ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ 10 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ 10 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ 100%, I am telling you 100% out of these 5 questions, 1 question will be there for 5 marks and 3 mark question will be there and 1 mark questions 2 will be there. So that's why this chapter is very very important and is a very easiest chapter. Only theory is there. There is no derivation here. Only theory is there. How to write that one? Which are important questions? I'll discuss now. Okay. Now here, see here. Explain working of PN junction diode in the forward bias, reverse bias with a characteristics curve. You have to draw a diode in a forward bias. Forward bias means P is connected to positive terminal, N type semiconductor is connected to negative terminal and it becomes forward bias. During the forward bias, how the curve will takes place, that already you have studied in the practical things, right? Semiconductor diode, in that forward bias only you have done. So that things you have to write down here. Next, what is rectification? The process of conversion of pulsating AC to pulsating DC, conversion of AC alternating current to pulsating DC, that is called rectification. We have two methods for that. One is using half wave rectifier, another is using the full wave rectifier, and half wave rectifier separately for 5 marks or full wave rectifier with separately 5 marks. Okay, see here, with circuit diagram explain the working of PN junction diode as a full wave rectifier or half wave rectifier, and with their diagrams both I will explain. Okay, now finally last, explain the working of Zener diode as a voltage regulator. This question frequently asked in the midterm as well as in the preparatory and sample model question paper also. They have asked this voltage regulator, the Zener diode as a voltage regulator. Zener diode act as a voltage regulator. You have to draw one circuit for that and we have to write the working principle of that. Okay, last final one, explain briefly formation of P type and N type semiconductor. This may ask for 3 marks or 3 marks. One more question will be here, write the classify the types of semiconductors, N type semiconductor, P type semiconductor, or intrinsic semiconductor, extrinsic semiconductor, important for 3 marks questions. Okay, see here, in one slide only I will try to explain both half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier. Okay, see here, write the neat circuit diagram full wave rectifier and explain working of draw input and output for waveforms. First I will explain half wave rectifier. Okay, so here it is a half wave rectifier. This is not a full wave, it is a half wave rectifier. Half wave means what here? This is what the circuit consists of. This is input AC, AC you are giving input, and next one is a transformer. This is transformer. Which kind of transformer? That is most important. Step down or step up, right? Or 1-to-1 tap transformer, right? So here it will be using a step down transformer. That is very important. Here we are using step down transformer and only one diode. If you are using only one diode, that is called half wave rectifier. If you are using ನೀವೇನಾದರೂ ಒಂದೇ ಡಯೋಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಹಾಫ್ ವೇವ್ ರೆಕ್ಟಿಫೈರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡೋಣ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ನಾನು. ನಾವು ಹಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡಯೋಡ್ ಪಿ ಟೈಪ್ ಈಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್, ಎನ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಈಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್. ಅದು ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್, ವಿ ಇನ್ ಎ ಸಿ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಇದು. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇನು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೇನು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಪಿ ಈಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್, ಎನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಅವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎನ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಇದು ಪಿ ಈಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್, ಎನ್ ಈಸ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಬಯಾಸ್. ಅವಾಗ ಇದೇನಾಯ್ತು ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಬಯಾಸ್. ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಬಯಾಸ್ ಆದರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಅದ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ದೆನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಲೋಡ್, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಇಫ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಬಂತು, ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಪಿ ಈಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್, ಎನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್, ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಂಡರ್ ವಾಟ್, ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಬಯಾಸ್. ಆಗ ಇದು ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಬಯಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಬಯಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದರೆ ಓಪನ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ಲೋ, ಇದು ಓಪನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನೋ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ರೋಡ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ output will come, during negative cycle no output. Again next what comes, positive cycle come, at that time output will come. Next what happens, negative cycle, there is no output, again positive cycle, output will come. So only half of the input cycle is converted to DC, remaining half is not converted. That's why it is called half wave rectifier. Conversion of AC to pulsating DC. But here only half cycle is converted, not full cycle is converted. That's why it is called half wave transformer. How to write this one, what to write? This diagram is compulsory, this waveform is compulsory, and later you have to write something about it. What I have given the statements here. AC to be converted is connected to be primary of the transformer. AC edana convert ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನ primary connect ಮಾಡಿರಬೇಕು. This is primary, this is secondary. And converted to DC is obtained across the load. Converted DC ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಲೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, V out. Now across the load of the secondary of the transformer during the positive half cycle, see there hinge baribeku point anta baribeku, during the positive half cycle input AC diode is in forward bias and hence conduct the current. During the negative half cycle of the input AC diode is in reverse bias, hence does not conduct current. So this process continues, thus current flows in the same direction through the load resistor during the positive half cycle. This is called half wave rectifier. Similarly for full wave rectifier, this diagram you have to draw. Two diodes will be used here. How many diodes you used? Two diodes are used here. Here one diode and another diode is here. Now whatever the AC have to be converted is connected to primary and the converted DC is connected to secondary here. Okay. Now when positive is connected here, this will be positive and here will be negative. Here will be positive, here will be negative. See here, first diode P type is connected to positive, N type is connected to negative. Second diode P is connected to negative, N is connected to positive, which means first D1 will be forward bias and second D2 will be reverse bias. Hence during the positive half cycle D1 conduct, that current will flow through the load. Now next case, for the negative half cycle what happens? For negative half cycle, so here negative, here positive, here negative, here positive. So first diode will be reverse bias and second diode this time will be what? Forward. Why? Because here P type is connected to positive terminal, so it becomes forward bias. During negative half cycle diode D2 will be conducting. During positive half cycle diode D1 is conducting. Again during positive half cycle diode D1 is conducting. During negative half cycle diode D2 is conducting. So which means for both positive and negative half cycle the output is coming over. So that only you have to write here. What? The positive, during the positive half cycle of the input AC diode D1 is forward biased and D2 is reverse biased. Hence D1 conduct the current through the load. During the negative half cycle input AC D1 is reverse biased and D2 is forward biased. Hence D2 conducts current through the resistor same. Either the case, either you for the positive half cycle or negative half cycle, the current is converted or the AC is converted to DC. This diagram, this waveforms and this much, only this much sentence enough for 5 marks. Okay, so I tried my level best to explain you all the derivation in the part B with a short time. If you have any doubts you can query, you can visit our channel, you can comment, we will give you the reply, and please subscribe our channel, help us. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Thank you one and all.